Domestic violence cases can be tough to investigate and sometimes even tougher to get through the court system. This is especially true when the victim is strangled by the abuser. You see, since strangulation is a lethal form of violence, Arizona law makes strangling someone during domestic violence a Class 4 felony. That's a big deal. It basically means if the abuser is found guilty, he or she faces prison time. So what's the hitch? Well, sometimes there's just not enough type of evidence for these types of cases. But now Glendale Police are working to change that with a special medical exam that will gather enough evidence to put the abuser behind bars. Once again, here's Stacey Lloyd.
I really want to be able to examine you and make sure that you're safe, and it sounds like you were strangulated.
You're watching a demonstration of a medical forensic exam. These usually take place after a sexual assault. The exams provide victims medical care and allow evidence of a crime to be collected. Thanks to a pilot program with Glendale PD, Scottsdale Healthcare, and the County Attorney's Office, these exams are now offered to victims who were strangled during domestic violence. In the past, when Glendale Police would send these cases to the County Attorney's Office for prosecution, a majority of them couldn't make it to trial because of lack of evidence. That was unacceptable because strangulation is a sign domestic violence is escalating.
And it's going to be only a matter of time before something more serious happens, hospitalization and possibly even being killed.
Here's the rub. The way the law is written, it must be proved in court beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim's airway or blood circulation to the brain was cut off while being strangled by the abuser.
So tell me what happened.
I got choked.
Here's why the medical forensic exams are so important. They provide that much-needed proof the county attorney can use to explain and prove to a jury why certain injuries are telltale signs of strangulation.
The exam is a big component that helps us in charging and prosecuting and holding people accountable for doing what they did to the victim.
Since this has happened, have you had any other symptoms that you've noticed at all? Have you had any coughing?
My throat's kind of dry.
A forensic exam includes getting the victim's full medical history, specific questions about the domestic violence assault and strangulation, then a complete head-to-toe exam to identify and document any injuries. The nurses giving these exams are key.
I've been specially trained on the topic of strangulation and the event when a strangulation occurs, and I know specifically where to look for injuries.
That's because injuries from being strangled can appear in places you might not think of. A ring around the neck or burst capillaries can be signs, but others are less obvious to the untrained eye.
Injuries may actually be caused from the patient or victim themselves. If you can imagine someone putting their hand around your neck, you would naturally want to pull that off. And oftentimes those injuries are actually clear up on the chin or under the chin from the patient trying to pull away or get that hand off of their neck. First, I'm just going to take a photograph of your face.
Every potential sign of being strangled is identified. One way is a high-resolution camera.
I can photograph any identified injury inside the interior of the mouth or in the interior of the eyes. And it's very high resolution, and I can capture the image of those burst capillaries, which would confirm to me that this could potentially have happened because of a block of the blood flow. It's about 6 pages of these specific questions about what happened. And then I also very specifically identify on what part of their body I would find an injury. And in this report, it would describe the injury, size and dimensions, and coloring.
The good news is, thanks to this pilot program, more domestic violence strangulation cases are going to trial.
We're actually able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt through the medical evidence and through our victim's testimony on the stand that the strangulation did actually happen.
And Glendale Police are getting justice for more victims.
They feel more connected to the police department and that they're getting more support from the police department.
For more information on domestic violence or to get help, call or visit the Glendale Family Advocacy Center at 623-930-3720. The address is 4600 West Glendale Avenue. Or online, go to glendaleaz.com/advocacy center/domestic violence.